Hello and welcome to the morning show teeing up with RevSportz. A very good morning to all of you present. This is me, Rohan Chaudhary, and few hours back only we had the FIFA Best Awards, and it was a no-brainer that Argentina has swiped all of the awards in the men's category. The best player, Lionel Messi, best goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez, best coach, Lionel Scaloni, and best fans, Argentina fans. In the women's categories, Alexia Putellas, the best player, Mary Orbs of England, the best goalkeeper, and Serena Wigman, best coach in the women's categories. And we have the Bordakovska Trophy coming up. We just saw an interesting match between New Zealand and England. The test match that was going on, New Zealand won it and made the series 1-1. And to discuss this, we have Debashish Sen and Atro Mukhopadhyay from Indore. Can we please?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Debashish. Good morning, Atro. What a match it was, New Zealand, England. Follow on and then a victory. Reminds you of some interesting match back in 2001, Debashish?
Yeah, obviously, what a match it was. That partnership between Dravid and Lakshman paved the way for an incredible win after being followed on, and that was the even in the morning also today. It didn't look like that New Zealand will make a bounce back, because with that Joe Root knock, it looked like England will clean sweep the series, but that spell from Neil Wagner means. Incredible. Means this is what test match cricket is all about. That thrills. It's a joy. Means test match on any given day is the what to say. It's the best.
Absolutely. So your thoughts on the match? Some old memories coming back?
Of course, they do. And it's only the fourth time in Test history that it has happened. And the first time it was happened, that was, I think, for the First World War. So, in contemporary cricket, in modern cricket, it has happened just thrice. And this was probably the most exciting because New Zealand won by just one run. The margin of victory was so narrow that it could have gone either way. That James Anderson boundary towards the end, it seemed as if England had almost going to scrape through, but then it didn't happen. New Zealand held their guns and held their nerves and pulled off such an exciting win. Great.
Do you see something like this in the Bordakovska Trophy third test, or you just want a dominating win for India and play safe for the WTC final?
Better not to predict. Prediction can be a very dangerous game. And who predicted?
No, I just want to know what you want.
And what I think is that it's a new start. I think the break. We had a fairly long break between the second and third matches. That should do Australia good, because they kind of mentally they had the time to relax a bit, to come out of the trauma of those two heavy defeats in the first two matches. They had the time to recuperate. They had the time to rethink and to re-energize. So the break should do Australia a little bit of good, if not a lot of good. So I expect a better fight from Australia over here. Although they are in a deflated and depleted state. Some of their regular players are not around. David Warner has gone back. Cummins has gone back. Aston has been sent back. So they have some of their first choice players. When they arrive in India, they are not going to be here. But I think the break is going to do them a little bit some good at least. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a small recap for our viewers for the first two matches. The first match, India won by an innings of 132 runs. The second match in Delhi, India won by 6 wickets. Debashish, do you see a comeback for Australia or even a fight for Australia in this one?
Don't see a fight back by the Australians. Yeah, this break will do a world of good, but then they would be missing a few key players, as Atro said. Obviously, the likes of David Warner has not been in the best of form, but he had a concussion, so he returned back to Australia. Same, Pat Cummins will not be there. Aston Agar, he decided to go back to Australia to play Sheffield Shield match. So these are all main players in the playing 11. So, but the
Yeah,
biggest positive for Australia is the recovery of Cameron Green. He has been recovering, and he
yeah,
missed two test matches, and also Mitchell Stark. So those are two
yeah,
certainties in this test match. In all probability, these two will play in this third test match. Mitchell Stark and Cameron Green, and that will add a value to this Australian side. Stark, we could see Cricket Australia did post a video where he was seen doing reverse swing, so it will play a huge role. And also Cameron Green, the, the as an all-rounder he brings to the table. So I think those two inclusion in the side will give the Australian boost. But then will it help them recover the nemesis of Ashwin and Jadeja? I doubt, because they have been all over the Australian batters. So
yeah,
I don't say, and Atruda will be in a better place to say what is the wicket like, because there are two types of soils in indoor. One is the black soil and one is red soil. What I am being told by Amit Shah last evening, I had a discussion with him. He was saying that the match will be played on the red soil, if I'm not wrong. So again, rank Turner. Obviously, it looks. You remember the first two test wickets of the first two test matches were
yeah.
given average by ICC match referee. So a lot will be taken into account in this test match.
Yeah, as
See,
Devashish said,
what
the pitch has been a bit of controversy in the first two matches. Your thoughts on this,
I
Atro, on the third test pitch?
I wouldn't say the pitch has been a matter of controversy, but which has been the
No, but topic of discussion.
first two matches. So
Yeah, topic of discussion was the pitch. I think,
Yeah,
uh,
I Michael Clark also in an interview to Boriada today on Backstage Boria, we will definitely
yeah,
play it. He said that Australian journals have been harping too much on the wicket, means, and also the
yeah,
former players. So nothing wrong because every home team they prepare a
yeah.
wicket
Every home team has the
according
pitch
to the wicket.
advantage.
So no problem.
When India
It's
also
Australia.
goes to Australia, it's their pitch.
Australia's failure to counter the spin and play according to the situations. It's got nothing to do with the wickets. They have been thinking too much about how to play. Rather than thinking too much about wicket, they must prepare how to play the sweep and reverse sweep, which brought their downfall. Most of the batters got out to playing sweep and reverse sweep in Delhi. So let them. Maybe this break will do a world of good for them. But as you said, I see nothing wrong in India preparing wicket to favor the home team. That is what the case is with all the teams.
Yeah, every team does that.
Yeah. Do you see as rank turner in Australia in Australian wickets? It always favors the bounce and pace. So I don't see, and all.
And we have seen serious comments on this also in today's Backstage Korea with Michael Clark. Our
Absolutely,
viewers,
absolutely. That is what I was
will see.
highlighting. It will be very interesting because, and this
I
comment
would,
coming from none other than former Australian captain Michael Clark means talking. He obviously he also reckoned that Australian media has been harping too much on the wicket rather than, highlighting their players, their batters' failure to counter the spin. They should not be talking on too much about wicket.
yeah. After coming to you, Australian players have been playing sweep so much but failing. Having a Matthew Head in India, do you think the Australian team should have helped for his asked for his help?
yes, as underlined by Michael Clark in that interview with Boria, that when people like Matthew Hayden are around as commentators, it makes sense to have them over at the net sessions if need be with for a fee in exchange for a fee to offer their advice. And made Hayden had been phenomenally successful in India in that 2001 series where he played a number of free shots, and he had before that series he had come to India in Chennai to specifically prepare for the sweep shot. So he knows, he understands, he has some knowledge, a lot of knowledge about when and how to play the sweep shot. Australians so far in this series have just mindlessly gone about playing the sweep shot. They have been obsessed with the sweep and reverse sweep. They have not trusted their defense. They have not used their feet. There have been no plan B, but only plan A and plan A all the time. You can say sweep was plan A, reverse sweep was plan B. So it doesn't work that way. I mean, that is not the way to tackle spin, not the only way to tackle the bowling, especially when you are not natural sweep players. Your natural strengths are different. So you compromise your strength and try to adapt advice, taking their advice would have been a good ploy. But so far, the Australians have not done that. And as Devashish was saying, it's difficult for them to stage a remarkable comeback dramatic comeback in the series at this point. But you never know. It's a game of cricket, it's a funny game, and they have had a break. The break is very important. Cameron Green is back, and Stark is going to be, I think, more effective as a fast bowler than the others they have tried out so far. So
Yeah.
it's a new match, it's a new beginning. But again, I mean, as we all know, it's advantage India, no doubt.
Absolutely. And talking to you, I can sense that today's BWP episode will be a cracker. So can we please have a small promo of that?
Pardon?
Did anybody, Andrew McDonald of the think tank, speak to you or any of the past players who've been successful in India?
Yeah, I can't speak for any other player, but no, they certainly haven't spoken to me. And I've made it clear on my radio show back here in Australia that you've got Mark Waugh and Matthew Hayden over in India commentating. Two wonderful players. Mark Waugh was a very good player of spin bowling, used his feet really well, beautiful hands, played very well with the spin. Matthew Hayden's probably the only Australian batsman that has been able to sweep and have success. So why would they not be begging those two guys to come to training, to, pay the money if they want money? I don't care. They're in the country. Use their experience, use their guidance, use their knowledge. I don't think that has happened. But if I was in that Australian team right now, I'd be getting those two guys to training every single day just to get their knowledge. Matthew Hayden, who swept his way through 2001 and scored a lot of runs, he's on air commentating saying, boys, you should not be sweeping here. What are you sweeping? So even him, who that was his shot that, made him successful in India, he's saying he wouldn't have swept in those conditions in Delhi. So that's why I just think they've got some great advice over there. They should be using it.
So can you sense the intent, strong words? They should be begging Mark Waugh and Matthew Hayden. So these were the words. So yes, absolutely. This will be a cracker of an interview, and it will surely make some news headlines. And coming to the Indian team, the big question: KL Rahul versus Shubman Gill. Who will play? Devashish, you first.
I reckon it's a bit of a suspense, I would say, because both Shubman and KL Rahul batted fast at the nets yesterday. Yeah. Rahul Dravid spent a lot of time with KL Rahul yesterday at the nets. So it's very difficult for me to say from here whether Shubman Gill will get a chance, but odds are heavily in favor of Shubman Gill to get an opportunity, because after the talks about KL Rahul's form, he has been failing miserably. So you would expect the Shubman Gill to play at the first order. Obviously, he has scored a century in Bangladesh. He's a batter in form, scored a double 100 in one-day cricket, 400s in white ball cricket. So you need a batsman in form. But then a strange thing happens with Indian cricket with and obviously someone like a Rahul Dravid. So I won't jump the gun and say that Shubman Gill is all set to play. So let's wait. Let's Atro to watch the practice and give us more inputs, because we have a 7 p.m. live as well. So maybe we would be in a better position to play tell whether Shubman Gill is definitely playing in the third test or not.
Yeah, Atro will be attending the press conference also. Atro, your thoughts on this?
See, I think a clearer picture is expected when the press conference takes place sometime around noon. The captain or the coach, either the captain or the coach is expected to be there. I'm sure there'll be questions on the opening combination. Whether they come up with a clear answer or not, that is what we have to see. But I think that going by what we have seen so far, Rahul has not looked the part. He is low on confidence, and going by all logic and whatever you call it, or the lack of it, it should be Shubman Gill playing in this test match. And I'm not sure, as Devashish pointed out, that yesterday both of them had a long session at the nets.
Yeah.
So it's clear that the team management has not ruled out Rahul. They are still keeping trust with him on him, which they should, because Rahul has done well in the past. But by the way Rahul has played in this series so far in the first two test matches, I do not think that he should be part of the 11. Gill, this is high time that Gill is given a chance. He has done well against
Absolutely.
Australia. He is in Australia. So I think Gill should be given a chance, but whether that will happen or not, we can't say. As Devashi said, that in cricket, nothing is clear until it is clear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And talk about the toss. Whatever teams wins, what would be they looking to do?
I think
Athro?
they'll bat. I think they'll bat. These are spinning conditions, expected to be spinning conditions again over here in Indore at the
Yeah.
Poker Stadium, outside which I am sitting. I am now, and normally what happens is that these pitches tend to crumble, get worse for batting as the match goes on. So any team that wins the toss will be looking to bat. I mean, that's what happened. That's what happened in the first two matches as well. Although Australia couldn't capitalize on winning those tosses.
Okay. Okay. Before we end, Athro,
Like to
you have
ask,
been in. Yeah.
Rohit,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you please allow me, I'd just like to ask
Go
Athro,
on. Go on. Go on.
point that Clark made. And so having former cricketers like Matthew Hayden and Mark Waugh who are in the commentary panel doing commentary in India, why not go and seek their help? It's not rocket science. They have been the greatest players of spin as far as Australian cricketers are concerned, and not to take their help means when the batters are struggling so much, strange things.
It is because Australian teams in the past when they came to India, they sought local help. I mean, Sridharan Shriram was their spin consultant in the past, and when they came here for one-day series or T20 series, they hired some local bowlers who was one was a leg spinner, one was a left-arm leg spinner. So they used a specific, which they did this time as well. They had Mahesh Bhatia from Baroda, who they thought would help them prepare against Ashwin, but that has not worked because Mahesh Bhatia is not even a first-class regular, and Ashwin is one of the all-time greats. So it didn't work out that way, the way Australia would have liked. And yeah, I mean, I am also surprised that, like Michael Clark is, that despite some Australia's stalwarts against spin bowling and every kind of bowling, Matthew Hayden and Mark Waugh being around, their help was not sought, their inputs were not taken. So, like everybody, I am also surprised by that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So another easy win for India. You reckon, Devashish?
Yeah, hopefully. But in test match, you never know because see what happened in Basin Reserve in Wellington. Means the New Zealand out of nowhere pulled off an incredible win by 1 run. So in
Absolutely.
cricket, you never know. But in India, definitely would start as favorites because first thing is that all eyes will be to win this test match and guarantee a place in that World Test Championship final in June. So that
Absolutely.
would be the first objective, and obviously, see they are overwhelmingly favorites, 2-0 ahead, and definitely they would be different. But we would expect Australia to bounce back, but whether they're going to win the test match, that's a
No,
different
no,
one.
no. No, we don't want that. We just want to see a good match and India win. and Devashish, coming to you, as you mentioned that World Test Championship, and I want to ask you about Jasprit Bumrah about his injury. He's ruled out of the IPL also, won't be available for the Test Championship also. So, thoughts on Jasprit Bumrah's injury? How
Yeah, that's
much
that's
big of a blow?
that's a huge blow because one would have thought that he would play in this one day series that is going to follow the test series. But as is the case, he is not yet recovered, and the BCCI, neither the BCCI nor the NCA medical staff are not in favor of rushing him because all we want is a fit Jasprit Bumrah for the World Cup, which is in October November in India. So he's also doubtful for the World Test Championship final if India qualifies. So that's a blow, I would say. That's a big setback, I would say, because Bumrah in English conditions is a certainty, but then as is the case, he is doubtful not only for the IPL but also for the World Test Championship final. That is what we get to hear from uh, NCA.
Yeah. We had a question from Akash Yadav. Can we please have that? Yeah. Do India need to give a chance to Unadkat or Umesh in place of Shami or Siraj before WTC as Bumrah will not be fit? Who would take it? Akshar, you want to take it?
I don't think because Shami and Siraj have done well. Although Siraj has not taken a lot of wickets, Shami has taken a few, and both have had an impact. Both have Siraj, although it went wickets in the second test, he troubled the openers quite a few times in his opening spell. So I think India should be persisting with them, and if they win this one, then one of the ones our viewer mentions, like Unadkat or Umesh Yadav, one of them can be tried out in the fourth test. But as of now, I don't think there is need to experiment. These two are proven performers. They have done well. Had they not done well, or had there been some injury
Absolutely.
concerns, niggles and all that here and there, then that probably that could have been a line of thinking, but not now. And we have to, I mean, as far
Absolutely.
as Bumrah is concerned, I think we have to get prepared for a future where Bumrah will not feature very regularly. We have to
Absolutely.
accept that reality now and look beyond Bumrah. If he comes back and plays for a long time, very good. That's nothing better than that. But we also must be preparing for a future, for a scenario when Bumrah is not going to be around.
Absolutely. And yeah. And it was great talking to you, and Akshay, you will be going to the press conference, and we would be waiting for your updates from there. There is a live at 7 p.m. also on the Buttergosket Trophy. We have the Michael Clark interview. It will be a cracker. I would request all my viewers to watch it. It will be a national headline. And that's all for now. Thank you for joining, and we'll be back tomorrow with more updates from the world of sports. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.